I've been driving my Rivian truck for a little over a year now, and we have over 10,000 miles on the odometer. And I have not babied this thing in any way, shape, or form. We've towed over 11,000 pounds with it. We've hauled around a bunch of mulch, shipped a truckload of jerry-rig knives to Linus. You know, did some farm stuff, filled it up with horse poop, among hundreds of other trips and projects. And I have some thoughts. Huge thanks to Huel for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. My mom always said if I can't say anything nice, then I shouldn't say anything at all. And normally that's fantastic advice, but today I'm still gonna go ahead and say those mean things. But I am going to preface it by disclosing that this is the most fun, the most powerful, and the most capable truck I have ever driven. And that is the definite truth, but it does some super weird stuff, and I'll explain more as we drive up the mountain. Maintenance-wise, over the course of the last year, we have had some things go wrong. The display for the compressor went out, super minor issue, but that had to be replaced. And then one of my shocks was getting jittery, so I took the truck in to get that replaced under warranty. The truck bed tonneau cover is still very hardcore broken. There's no fix for that yet. And that plastic piece for the top of the tailgate came off when I was unloading one of our new off-road wheelchair prototypes. But that was mostly my fault. Which is pretty surprising since this truck is number 1,600 ever made, and I was expecting there to be quite a few more bring it to the shop moments. I did the math, and my truck, including all the manufacturing for the battery pack and mining and charging off a fossil fuel grid here in Utah, my truck will become cleaner than a gas-powered truck only after it drives 30,000 miles. Charging from solar on my house, we become green a bit sooner after about 25,000. So we're still a little less than halfway to having a clean green vehicle, or a vehicle that produces less carbon than its gas-powered counterparts. And at this specific point in time, with only 10,000 miles on it, my truck is still worse for the environment than, say, a gas-powered F-150. But that will change for me around 25,000. I purposefully did not get a wrap on this truck so I could see how the paint would hold up over time, and besides one rock chip on the hood near the front that probably happened while I was driving on the freeway, there's only one other chip that's probably from the factory. Automotive paint sticking around a corner is a fairly difficult thing to accomplish, but the one small chip is nothing to lose sleep over. Made it to the top, quite a bit windier up here than I anticipated, but now that we have the pleasantries out of the way, let's get into the 3 things that I hate about my Rivian. Starting with thing number 1. Whenever it rains or snows, inevitably water somehow gets inside of my driver's side door. I'm not sure how, but you can hear it sloshing around in there. See if you can listen. I talked to Rivian about the water ingress, and they said there were vents in there to help drain the water and that they would install some bigger ones to help the liquid come out. Which they did, but it's still happening. So if we look underneath the paneling, it looks like there is a drain with a rubber stopper in it. You can kind of see the water coming out of that hole. And there's another one on this side also plugged up, which is super weird. Part of the reason might be because EVs are so much quieter, I can hear the going-ons of the vehicle so much better. And to be fair, the problem isn't that water is getting inside the door. If you take a look at your current vehicle, pretty much every car door should have a drain of some kind to prevent this same issue. Water getting into car doors is extremely normal. The abnormal part is that the Rivian door isn't letting the water out. For example, if we take a look inside a Chevy Silverado, we can see a small hole in the door to let the water drain out. Same thing goes for a Toyota Corolla. Every auto manufacturer is going to have one of these holes somewhere. It's weird that the drains are plugged up, and maybe there's other vents somewhere else I don't know about. All I know is that the door is holding water, and it probably shouldn't. Water getting into the door is a pretty big deal, and thing number 2 is also an extremely big deal. The R1T is an electric truck, and I assumed that an electric truck would just be able to do truck things. I use it a lot to haul dirt and gravel and things around for our little farm, and we've done quite a lot of hauling. The Rivian has a nifty little bed extending flap feature that eliminates the hinge between the bed and the tailgate, which is absolutely awesome for hauling drywall or lumber, which I've also done a lot of. But when hauling loose soil, inevitably the dirt gets directed straight down into the large hinge opening, right up into the sealed undercarriage of the truck, never to be seen again. It's uncanny how well the dirt just shoots right on down in there. If we take a little camera to scope out the internals, we can see there are probably a solid 2 or 3 shovelfuls of dirt, horse poop and mulch down in there that I have no access to. And now I'm forever hauling around that handful of rocks. And it happens on both sides of the tailgate. And not to mention, down there is where the battery and high voltage components are. Quick pause here for just 1 second. It wasn't until I was editing this video and looking at the footage up close and personal that I realized there is a plant growing in the undercarriage of my truck. I never thought I would have a literal organism hitchhiking, taking a ride in the fertile undercarriage of my vehicle. Look at it. It's all green and growing over there through the soil that has been accumulating over the past year of driving the truck. It is a very strange problem to have. Okay, back to the video. I paid thousands of dollars extra for the reinforced underbody protection, you know, the off-road package, to protect me from rocks on the underside. But here, rocks are just coming in willy-nilly from the top side. Just like the exhaust port on the Death Star, it's a rather large design issue, and will probably become an even bigger issue in the future. Inside the spare wheel compartment, we get a sedimentary history of all the different dirty things I've put in the bed, and the wheel compartment is visibly moist. Humidity and metal don't always go well together, so I'll definitely have to keep an eye on this compartment as well. I could probably disassemble the undercarriage to let all those rocks out, but I mean, that's kind of annoying and I don't even know if it would work. So my truck collecting rocks is the second thing that I hate most about my Rivian. Thing 1 and thing 2 are pretty crazy, and thing 3 gets even crazier. But first, we snack. Huge thanks to Huel for sponsoring this video. Today we have the Cookies and Cream Huel Black Edition. I've lost about 15 pounds since this time last year, and it's all through counting calories and actually paying attention to what I eat. Huel Black has been a big part of that change. The Huel Black Edition is a nutritionally complete shake that I can make in seconds. All you have to do is add water. With 40 grams of protein and 27 essential vitamins and minerals, it's also exactly 400 calories, which is a very easy round number to keep track of. The taste of the cookies and cream is basically like a bunch of the cookies all crumbled up into a shake. I like to have it with ice cubes. It's all plant-based with no artificial sweeteners, and has less than 5% sugar. I've tried quite a few of the Huel Black Edition flavors, like the strawberry shortcake and cinnamon roll, and they're all good, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the cookies and cream. If you use my link down in the description, you also get a free t-shirt. Huel has helped me eat healthier, and hopefully they can do the same for you. I'll put a link down in the description. And now for the third thing that I hate about my Rivian. Hate is kind of a strong word. Dislike. The third thing I dislike about my Rivian isn't as catastrophic-y as the first two, but it's still pretty crazy. Join me inside. I use my truck like a work truck, so there's a lot of tools inside, and one time I took my tape measure and set it down on this little ledge. This ledge is where cell phones go to be recharged, and something very strange happened. Underneath the charger are a bunch of copper coils, spread out so no matter where I put my phone down, it'll start charging. It's pretty cool. However, the long winding coil of my tape measure is tricking the wireless charger into thinking it's a phone, and my truck is trying to charge up my tape measure with electricity. Literally shocking my tape measure over and over again. It's not enough electricity that a human can feel it, but it's still pretty crazy that my electric truck is electrocuting my tape measure. I never thought my truck would get in a fight with my tools. Like I said, issue number 3 isn't quite as big of a deal as the other two, but it's still pretty crazy. I guess the question is, do those issues affect my decision? If I could go back in time, would I still buy this truck? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The speed, the utility, and the power of this truck is better than anything else on the road right now. The F-150 Lightning does come very close, but I'm also not a Rivian fanboy. If something comes out that is substantially better than this, I would have no problem switching. But I also don't see that happening in the very near future. Let me know what you think. Are these issues something that would stop you from buying a truck? I'm curious to see what are the deal breakers for other people. And as always, thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you around.